This episode is brought to you by Little Platinum Books, stories for kids and adults, from robbing a bank to wiping a crime scene. It's a great way to expose your children to satire. Go to littleplatnumbooks.com and back the Kickstarter today. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from animals going extinct to being Team Instinct. With over 3.5 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the first tangent officer, Ron Babcock.
Hey, Maddox.
And as always, the journalist, in moderation, Taylor Nikolai.
That's me.
Welcome back to the show. Guys, amazing episode today. We've got a great guest, great debate. We're going to be debating whether or not certain animals should go extinct. I have a dynamite debate, dynamite argument. Ron's giving me a look like I'm the biggest asshole, and you haven't even heard a single fucking word yet.
Sometimes you don't need to hear a word to come to the conclusion that you're just being the world's biggest asshole. I'm looking forward to hearing what bullshit you're slinging out this week on why some animals should be extinct.
Well, let's not put the cart before the horse here. Let's first introduce
nature's Hitler over here.
The horse that should go extinct. Let's introduce our guest this week first. She's an amazing singer, songwriter, and a performer, Allie Spagnola. Allie, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Allie, amazing to have you on the show. Your YouTube channel has over 8 million views.
Really? I only checked this morning, so it's probably...
Okay. With over 56,000 subscribers, going up there, you're coming pretty, you're past the halfway point to your 100,000, your 100K.
Yeah, I saw your plaque out there. That's pretty cool. I'm jealous.
Yeah. I used to have it in the bathroom.
So does YouTube, when you hit 100K, they send you a plaque?
Yeah, you get a plaque. That's how you earn your plaque. And this is amazing, you have over 2.83 million Twitter followers.
Yeah, tweets are easier to do than videos.
Yeah, you're killing it on Twitter. And I did notice, Allie, I didn't want to, maybe I shouldn't call this out, but there's one person you're not following on Twitter. I just noticed, I'm just going to say it's Real Maddox, or Maddox Rules is my Twitter.
Yeah, I'm going to do it right now.
Oh, yes!
Watch it happen.
Yes!
I like that you messed up your own username there.
Yeah, maybe that's why.
Maybe that's why she's following the wrong
fake
account.
Maddox? Because I love
fake
him.
Maddoxes, yeah. And also, Allie, I want to get to the story at some point. Before I do that, though, I want to play a few clips from your YouTube channel, because you had something that recently kind of went viral. Boing Boing republished your video of yourself riding a bike and playing your saxophone and drums, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
At the
it's
same time.
pretty incredible. I watched this thing. So this is something we both have in common. We're both avid bike riders. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is...
Avid saxophone bike riders.
We're both avid saxophone bike riders. Listen to this. I want to play this clip. I don't want to play too much of it, because I'll get a DMCA strike from your own channel. But here's the clip. Listen to this, guys. This is pretty incredible. And again, you got to watch this video. I'll link to it, where Allie is riding a bike and playing these instruments. Listen to this. And it sounds incredible, but you also use the bike bell as an instrument.
Yeah, and that ticking is I put my stick in the spokes and I'm hitting on the handle, so all those sounds are parts of the bike.
Yeah, the just hearing the audio does not do this justice. You got to watch this video.
Where were you biking when you were doing this?
They shut down the streets for a thing called Ciclavia, so yeah. I was able to get the whole road, which was cool, and there was just people out biking around me who didn't sign release forms, but it's fine.
And then, did you just have a GoPro mounted on your handlebar?
Yeah. I used a Surrey. So there was a place about 10 miles away from where Ciclavia was that I rented a Surrey and then put it in a U-Haul that I'd also rented and illegally stole it basically from that park and used it all day. They were bring it back in an hour, and I'm no, I like it for 8 hours, and pretty sure that's the most they've
What's
ever.
A Surrey?
It's imagine a bike that could be 4 people.
Oh, it's a little
it's
kind of two next to each other.
Yeah, but then you can bicycle it with pedals.
Okay,
and so I had one guy biking, and then the videographer was in the back, pointing the camera at me.
This was a production vehicle.
Yeah,
basically.
The video is incredible. I kept watching. Because you have really good balance, which you need when you're playing saxophone and drums on your bike. But I just kept watching, oh man, there's so many ways you could eat shit, and and you didn't. Congratulations.
Face full of.
Yeah, and you're here today. And I also want to play another clip. So you do these things where you basically do covers of songs where you do every instrument of the song and the backup vocals too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is super cool. And what's that trackpad called when you record yourself and then you start playing it on a loop?
Launchpad.
A Launchpad. Okay, so check this out. I got a little clip from one of your songs that I'd like to play. Now, again, this is Allie doing all the voices, and this is all done in real time in one take, right?
Yeah. I used to just put the one take up, which was so much more impressive to me as a musician, but everybody just likes seeing different angles, and I was like, so many people told me, so I cut it now.
So even though it is done in one take, you still like cut it for the different angles because you have like a drum cam, and it's kind of cool because it vibrates. Here, listen to this clip. And again, this is Allie doing all the voices in real time. Listen to this. That's so cool. That was a mix of a Taylor Swift song and Ed Sheeran, The Shape of You.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Now we got the DMCA coming in.
There it is. Yeah, well, sorry for the copyright strikes. You won't be able to see this video. But anyway, that's very cool, very impressive, Allie, and people can follow you on Twitter at Allie Spagnola.
Correct.
I should also mention before we move on that I was on 98.7 FM in Los Angeles and all across the country, actually. It's Alt FM, so it was 106.3 in Iowa, and I think there's like a New York syndication too. It was The Woody Show. They just had me on, and I brought in a clip of that. Ron, you told me you heard it on the way in.
Listened to it on the way here. It was great.
Thank you.
It was
Yeah.
great, yeah.
It was super fun. That was a super fun recording. I was on for like a 30-minute segment. It was a pretty...
Yeah, it was a nice chunky time. They
Yeah.
were pumping the book pretty hard for you.
They were, and it was super fun. They brought in clips and stuff. Anyway, I brought in a short little clip from that.
Made me almost want to buy the book, and I already own it.
Yeah, there. Hey, thank you. Thank you for almost buying the book.
Yeah, no problem, man. I will almost always buy any of your stuff.
Hey, I will almost thank you for almost buying it.
Thanks, man.
You're almost welcome.
Cool.
Here's a clip from 98.7 The Woody Show or Alt FM. Listen to this.
We got a guest in studio. You might know him from his website, from his podcast. A lot of you probably read his books. His name is Maddox. His latest book is F Whales, and I have a little clip for you guys from the audiobook about why whales suck.
All right.
You can buy a ticket to fly to another country, and then while you're waiting for your flight, you can order a piping hot pizza made with fresh ingredients grown all over the world. Meanwhile, whales are getting tangled up in giant conspicuous nets. Nets don't even move. They just sit there. Getting caught in a net is like hitting a parked car. Embarrassing. What are you talking about? That's like the smartest thing ever broadcast on FM radio.
If dogs are so stupid, why, when a master dies, do they lie at their grave? It's because they miss them. They do love them. It's not that they're stupid.
Well, you can miss them, but that's a point that they are stupid. Like, I miss my grandma, but I'm out, like, sleeping next to her grave.
You're comparing humans to dogs.
The Woody Show.
There it is. Thank you to The Woody Show. That was super fun. I might go back on, I guess, when the host was out, Woody. And I might go back. That was Sebastian was the fill-in host that day. Anyway, guys, the whole clip, I posted it on I have a group. I have a Facebook group. I haven't really mentioned this on the show before, but it's Maddox University for geniuses and hot babes who are geniuses only. This is on the Facebook page. If you search for it, you can join my group and join the chat. I post some things in there that I don't post anywhere else. But we should move on.
Pretty fun. I've been dipping my toe in there.
Yeah.
People post some fun stuff.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, not too bad. But we should move on to the debate this week, guys. I really want to talk about this. Now, that was kind of a good lead-in to the debate, right? About whales running into nets, I think.
Yeah.
And before we do...
Those stupid fucking whales messing up our nets.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are messing up our nets, Ron.
Let's take away some other animals that just... piss us off. Which
hold
ones
on.
is it going to be?
We'll get to it. I should also mention, though, that we have some super chats in the chat room. Pavic Bavner for $5 asked Ron to make fart noises. That was before we started recording. And Pavic Bavner for $2 suggests pandas should be extinct. Thank you, Pavic. But we'll...
What's wrong with you people?
You know what? We'll get to it. This is gonna be a debate, a lively debate. But before we do that, let's hear everyone's buzzers. Here's mine. Allie and Ron. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate, that means someone is disagreeing with someone else, or we're just chiming in with an interjection or pointing out a correction, logical fallacy. But guys, this is a special debate because I received a voicemail that basically talked about this topic, and it's going to lead into the discussion because this is something I've thought about a lot, and it's something I've wanted to say, and I really believe. Listen to this. Here's the voicemail that sets up this debate.
Hey, Madcast Media. I'm here to talk about why we should just fucking kill sea turtles as a whole. Not even just because of the straw, but because for years I have been fucking hearing from, like, news sources, news articles, and fucking those stupid scholastic books they give us in school about how fucking so many different sea turtle species are endangered and reaching the brink of extinction. It almost makes you wonder, maybe sea turtles are just destined to fucking die and we just won't let them. Maybe they're just stupid, evolutionarily flawed animals that we keep around so that we can feel self-righteous when one of them gets a fucking straw stuck up their nose. Alright? I don't think the issue is plastic straws. I think the issue is that sea turtles are just fucking dumb. Fuck whales, fuck sea turtles.
Yeah, fuck whales, fuck sea turtles. That's the debate this week, guys. Why shouldn't certain animals go extinct? And I have a really good argument for this.
I keep waiting to hear it.
Good.
You've been pumping it up
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So, Allie, as our guest this week, I'm going to give you first stab at the debate. Should any animals go extinct?
Well, okay, there are two different debates here. Is it that we should let them go extinct or we should actually kill some that suck?
Well, okay, I would say it's one and the same thing. And here's the crux of my big debate. First of all, what would you say?
Well, that's not true because, like, maybe we should just kill all cockroaches. They're not going to just accidentally go extinct.
Okay, if we killed all cockroaches, Allie, all right, let's say, are you okay, first of all, if cockroaches going extinct?
I can't say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
good
you wanna give
fucking
us an
luck. They're the
example?
only things that are going to be around when we kill
they're-
ourselves.
they're-
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. I may have a plan, but here's the thing. Okay, here's what speciesism boils down to. Which everybody who says that we should always preserve animals or we shouldn't eat them and we should be good shepherds of the earth and not take care of them. That's a speciesist argument because you are putting yourself as a human above all other species. You're saying that we are no longer part of the ecosystem. We are no longer part of this planet. We are above them, and we decide what lives and what doesn't live. So certain animals, just naturally, 99% of all animals that ever existed on Earth have gone extinct. And that was without human intervention. That's all animals. There's been so many different types of species that have just gone extinct over time. And now, with certain animals going extinct due to either natural causes or human causes, we are taking ourselves out of that equation and saying, no, we're not part of this ecosystem anymore, and we should make sure that this animal lives. Well, like the caller said, why are these turtles still alive? If they're running into straws and getting them stuck up their brains, isn't that a sign that the turtle just isn't meant to survive anymore? Isn't that a sign that the turtle's time has come?
Because the turtle didn't evolve with fucking straws in the ocean. We put it there.
Correct.
Yeah, but we evolved to make straws.
Yeah, we evolved to make straws.
Yeah, we evolved into assholes. And so now we're basically saying, hey, either fucking, adapt to our way of life.
Yes.
Or fuck off.
Exactly.
And, except your argument was whole that we're putting ourselves above. You're literally putting yourself above species. You just proved that's exactly what you're saying.
No, I'm just a cool dude. Okay, so here's the thing. Everyone thinks I'm a cool dude. So I'm just so as a cool dude, I'm just coming along, right? I'm doing my thing. I'm making straws. I'm making pollution. I'm dumping shit into the ocean. And animals are like, oh no, we're dying. I'm like, hey, dipshit, I'm just living me. I'm doing me.
Yeah.
All right, listen. All the there. Okay, here's the thing with all these people who get so fired up about the fact that they see a sea turtle with a straw in its nose and somehow that affects your life. And they're fucking bullshit, man. Fucking self-righteous bullshit. They're the same people who get pissed off when they get an Amber Alert on their phone. An Amber Alert is something we do in California. I don't know if we do it anyplace else, but it's when some kid gets kidnapped. Right, you get a little text message on your phone, and these dipshits out of nowhere freak out this happened all the way up in Northern California. I'm in Southern California. What the fuck, man? If you get this pissed off about Amber Alerts and sea turtles, you have a charmed and privileged life. The amount of privilege in your life is directly proportional to how pissed off you get about fucking animals that you have to look at occasionally on Facebook.
Oh boy, I haven't played this in a while, but there's a straw man argument. Who says anything about having a charmed or privileged life? I just have a life, and I'm living it. And then all of a sudden, some fucking kid gets kidnapped, and I have to drop everything I'm doing and wake up 3 a.m, looking for this fucking car.
By the way, every idiot who complains about that, you can turn that alarm off.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
why do the same people complain about it every time?
I don't. So tell me what animals.
I would almost call this a red herring, not a straw man, because this
red
has
herring,
nothing to do with the argument.
It's the same kind of person. And yes, you're right.
Oh, so then it's ad hoc, and you're attacking the person, not
I got that too.
or ad hominem. Excuse
Yeah, there's
me.
your ad hominem.
Yeah,
There you
it's
go.
ad hominem because they're being dipshits. It's not attacking when they're wrong. Listen, tell us what animals you want to take extinct. The ones that piss you off for some reason.
I don't want any animals to go extinct. In fact, I prefer there to be two types of animals: non-endangered and endangered. Because if we get rid of the endangered species, then we only have one type of animal. That's less diversity, right? We should have at least two. So we should, right? That's a solid bulletproof argument. Thank you, Allie. See, Allie's got my back.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that we should definitely have endangered animals. I don't want them to go extinct because then we'll have less diversity. If there was only one type of animal, non-endangered, that's boring. We should have some endangered, right?
Well, okay, so what animals do you want to let go extinct? The ones that you're like, oh, we're putting all these resources into saving animals. That's just riling you up. So which ones do we just kind of let fade away?
Bro, the ones that can't hang, all right? It's the same shit as like when you're going drinking with your friends. You got a few who can't hang. Fuck them. Leave them home. Leave them at the bar. They'll get home on their own. I don't give a shit. I'm going home. I'm going to continue this party because I know how to drink and I know how to hold my alcohol.
Okay, now what about some animals that if we let them just kind of fade away,
Yeah.
like bees,
Yes.
bee population
Yeah.
going downhill real quick.
I
Fuck
need my
'em.
Wi-Fi.
All right.
FUCKEM.
What's
Fuck
that?
'em.
Oh, okay,
Bees.
cool. All right, I don't know
And
how
I'll
to
tell you
spell.
why. And I'll tell you why. Because there's this big thing like, oh no, bees are dying. Oh, that's going to be the end of our food. So China experimented with this, right? They were like, oh no, our bee population's dwindling, which it is. You know, and I don't know. No one really knows the cause. They think it might be pesticides. They think it might be RF frequencies, like all this other shit.
They can't hang.
They can't hang. So then China started to pay like farmers to go out into the fields and just with their little brushes to pollinate individual flowers. And they found not only was there a bigger bloom, but they had a 30% yield in efficiency when they self-pollinated. So bees aren't even that fucking good at the one thing we need them to do, which is pollinate the fucking flowers and then maybe make honey every now and then, okay?
Self-pollinate, or the humans had to take the bee jobs?
The humans took the bee jobs.
So do you want to just go out there with brushes all day, or
I personally don't, but it's a job.
what if we make more job species? What if we breed more things to do stuff for us? Like
I
that?
got a news article on this today, too.
Oh, do you really?
There's a news article about crows being taught to pick up trash in France.
Oh, that's pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Dope.
Yeah.
I want a crow slave.
So we'll get back to that in the news. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I mean, we could just switch over the entire post office to just bald eagles delivering packages.
So fucking cool, man.
Dude, how awesome would it be if you could select your Amazon package? It's like by drone or by a bald eagle.
Guarantee the bald eagle will be less sassy than my male woman.
I'm
you know-
still gonna shoot it down and steal someone's package.
I like the idea of a bald
drone
eagle
or an eagle.
coming with a USA bandana tied around his head and like aviator sunglasses.
It's always got a tear in its eyes right after a terrorist attack.
I could get on board with the whole breeding animals to do shit for us.
But they're not that good. Look, we used to till our
Dude,
fields with oxen.
They're pretty good. Okay, you're citing this one source that you hoard, and now you're like, see, we could just fucking pollinate all the. I think it's a little bit more efficient to have bees do that than to give farmers some tiny little brushes and go, yeah, go pollinate half the world. It seems like we're using less resources and more efficient just to have bees do their job. Because what you're saying is you don't want to change any aspect of your behavior. You'd rather let all animals, if they can't hang, to die. And what I'm saying is, hey, I think we should pump the brakes a little bit. Maybe change a couple aspects of our behavior so we can live in a little bit more harmoniously. Because an animal's going to go extinct, and there's going to be unforeseen consequences that you're not thinking about right now.
Animals don't change their behavior for us.
That's right. Thank you, Allie. Good fucking point.
I mean,
And also, I didn't expect you taking my side of the debate.
well, I didn't expect it either. I figured I'd be towing the line the whole time, but no, I'm going the other direction.
Hell yeah.
Except that I will say on the other side of it, in the book *Sapiens*, he talks about how, like, yes, there is like natural things and there's human intervention, and they're not one and the same. And you're saying they're the same.
I'm saying they're the same.
Because we were below tigers and all of those like big animals, and then as soon as we took ourselves out of there and moved to the top of the food chain, that's when it became not natural, and that's when we had to start to have conscience.
Yeah, but if you go to like say the moon, one of the moons of Jupiter, Oceania, right? They say that
It's
there might
really
be
nice.
They say there might be life there. Okay, let's say there's like all these different types of like sea species. There's different fish and octopus and squids like that. Inevitably, no matter what food chain there is, someone's going to be at the top. Do you then just take that species that's at the top of the food chain and pluck them out of that ecosystem and say, no, they're no longer part of this ecosystem. They are their own separate thing. Like we as humans need to get over ourselves. We need to stop jerking ourselves off and think we're so fucking better than the earth. We can't simultaneously argue that we should be shepherds of the earth and also argue that that humans are, or animals are humans and we should treat them the same. Like we can't if we take ourselves out of the equation. We are part of this equation. And if we do something, that's just life. That's Earth doing its thing. Earth created us, right?
It's an excuse to do anything.
Yeah,
now.
you're
You can
like
say,
basically saying like
Absolutely
I
is.
can do whatever the fuck I want because I'm part of the equation.
Yeah. Double ding. There you go. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
You don't think that's going to have any unforeseen consequences?
Yeah,
course
we're
it's going to.
fucked.
Yeah, everything's going to be fucked. But
We're
Again,
we're
this
part
is
of the
what
going.
you guys
thing.
are saying where I'm coming from. You saying everything is going to be fucked is me. That's why I'm arguing my position.
Oh, so you're just trying to protect yourself at this point. You don't actually care about the sea turtles.
Oh no, yeah, I'm gonna try to protect myself because I'm like the apex predator, bro. And if you can't hang, then you can't hang. That's what you guys are just saying.
okay,
No,
pe-
I'm
we,
saying I'm going down with the ship. Goodbye.
we can do whatever we want, yes, as long as we're self-sustaining life for humans. But we don't know the unforeseen circumstances of certain species being exited until it happens.
I'm saying-
so the scary thing is, and sorry,
No,
just
go ahead.
finish my point. The scary thing is we need to pay attention to these endangered species because we don't know what the consequences are. Maybe after the bees are gone, we realize we're going to be fine. But the scary thing is that like if they leave in the like we don't know what the consequences. What were you saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that like taking this form of action will be worse for us as a species.
Yes.
well,
you're
not-
caring about yourself. You're really not caring about the turtle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So
I think that's
the same argument.
And why is that bad to care about? Why is it negative to care about yourself?
It's not, and that's what I'm saying is we should do what we want, care about ourselves, and if the animals can't hang, they can't hang. Fuck
And
it.
I'm saying you should let them try and hang because I'm trying to argue something to get you guys on board.
Well, let me ask you this, Ron. Do you think any animals should go extinct?
I don't know. It's not my choice.
It's not your choice, but inevitably, over the course of time, some animals do, right?
Yes.
And do you think that it's just part of nature that some animals go extinct?
No, because if you take a look at human life on this earth, it is a very small sliver of time compared. So there's been a violent change in the history of this planet. To us, it seems like a long time, but I mean, the earth has been on a very, very long time. How long have humans been around? How much change has gone through because of us?
Yeah, but you're labeling that as wrong. When
I'm
we
labeling
have
it as we're using our resources so quickly, we're burning through our shit pretty fast. We're burning through our nest egg. Do you think if we continue this level of consumption that the earth is going to be around for a long time?
I don't think so.
It's
And-
not. We're not in a sustainable model right now.
Right, but sustainable is also, I think, a red herring because there's going to be a tipping point no matter what. Let's say you prolong the resources of Earth instead of 35 years, say 85 years. Then what? 85 years later, you still have the same problem. You just have to get off this planet and move on to the next planet and use all those resources and then move on to galaxies and just keep consuming like a giant fucking human katamari.
So then we should just kind of just consume everything as quickly as possible because time doesn't matter.
Not as quickly as possible.
I mean, that's what you're saying is like,
Well.
Just because we can't prolong something, but it's going to happen. Well, then fuck it. Let's just use everything immediately. You could do the same argument as like, yeah, eating hamburgers every single day is going to shorten my lifespan, but I'm going to die anyway. So fuck it. I'm going to have hamburgers every single day.
That's a good point. I'm not saying it shouldn't be an extreme. We should try to preserve to an extent. But with animals, I don't think that's necessarily a resource that we need. Like look at history. We used to use horses for transportation, and then we came along. We made a better horse. It's called a car. Then we used to use oxen to till our fields. Then we came along and we made a better oxen. It's called a farm machine, like a tractor.
A tractor? No.
The,
Oh man, a farm machine. That was as specific as you could come up with.
we made a tractor. Okay, and then we bees are pollinating our
We
flowers.
used fire, and then we made a better machine. It's called a food warmer.
Yeah, man. Like, technology comes along, it makes shit better, and then we don't need animals. And if they go extinct, you know what? Fucking make yourself more useful. What about the ant and the aphid, right? There is a symbiotic relationship, an ant and an aphid, right?
What's an aphid?
An aphid is kind of like a little green thing with, like, it looks like it has leaf wings on its back. Which, by the way, every time I see an aphid in a spider web, I say fuck the spider and I take the aphid out of it because I like aphids. Aphids are one of my favorite insects. I don't know. I just do.
But
An aphid is
I think aphids should go extinct.
Allie, what do you want to say, Taylor?
an aphid is a minute bug that feeds by sucking sap from plants.
What
Yeah.
makes you like aphids so much? Just
They're just cool little creatures. They're just like little green.
they
have,
can
like,
hang, bro.
They can hang.
They can fucking hang.
Aphids are chill as fuck. If an aphid lands on you, it kind of looks at you with its eyes like, hey, you gonna kill me? And I look at it and I'm like, no, bro, you're cool. And the aphid just like hangs out. And it's not scared. It's not arrogant. It's just kind of like, okay, I guess I'm hanging on a human now. That's why I like aphids. Does that make sense? Chris?
Kinda. I get it. All right. We all have our animals that we kind of identify with.
Yeah, crystal clear. Yeah, so I like so ants and aphids, right? That's a
Okay, yeah,
symbiotic
ants and aphids.
relationship.
Symbiotic relationship.
Right. So if animals want to be useful, right? If they don't want to go extinct, bumping into our straws and, our garbage and acid rain, like whatever it is humans are creating, we're part of this earth. We evolved here. We belong here. We are a product of this earth just as much as they are, and we have every right to live our lives just like they do, right? What if animals started creating their own civilization? Would we come along and start regulating them? Like, oh, too much pollution. You chimps in the jungle.
No, we do
have
this all the
created
time.
their own civilization, and we do regulate them all the time.
Yeah, if animals are overpopulated, we have to hunt them or do stuff like that's why we hunt deer in the
It's like
Midwest.
animals come into like our neighborhoods and we're like, hey, get the fuck out of here, pal. This is our place now. And animals like, yeah, but I used to like come here all the time. This is like, I think, yeah, not anymore. Get out of my pool.
But that's ecological imperialism. Because humans are then coming in and being interventionist, right? They're saying, we have decided your population's too much and we're going to destroy you. Like, I think there's an argument to be made that if a species that is introduced into a different country that is non-native, they call them invasive species or predatory
Yeah,
species.
like kudzu in the South, the plant that's eating the South right now.
Kudzu, and it's evolutionarily successful in the South because for whatever reason the resources there have given it life and it's spread like wildfire. Well, at some point we have to just stop fighting it and say, look, this is kudzu in the South and this is a native species now. It's just what it is.
So what about viruses? Do you think that viruses, because they're natural, we should just let grow forever and kill the human species and just let the human species die out?
No, the opposite. I'm saying we
have
should kill the
control.
viruses. Yeah, we control the viruses.
Because we have all
eliminate
this
them.
power, we
Yeah.
should just use it.
If humans know, look, if animals know how to fucking stop straws from going up their nose, they should exercise that option. We know how to stop viruses, and we should exercise that option.
Do you know how many people that go into emergency rooms with stuff stuck up their own ass?
Yeah, we talked about this, which is a hilariously large number.
Yeah. It's not like maybe it's not common, but it's definitely not uncommon.
Wait, back to the viruses. So you're saying we should make viruses go extinct?
Yes.
So that is it's a living thing that we should let go extinct.
Well, here, in humans. So viruses, if they come inside our bodies, we should make them go extinct. What about viruses that affect other animals? Sometimes humans try to intervene with those, too. Like, I'm not saying eliminate all viruses. I take that back. We shouldn't eliminate all viruses. We should just eliminate viruses that cause us problems. I don't give a fuck about viruses. If a virus wants to, like, go infect some fucking creature, there's monkey AIDS. There's also bat AIDS, I think.
Yeah.
Like,
What if it's a virus that's going extinct? Do you want us to take care of it to make sure it stays around on the Earth?
I think that the argument is flawed. If
You
you're
guys
thinking
are being
nature should be able to do whatever you
ridiculous.
want,
And
if
you both know you're being ridiculous.
Well,
if you want
that's
nature to
ad
do
hominem
whatever you
again.
want, you have to let viruses kill all humans.
okay.
If the argument is nature is nature, and you have to just let everyone do whatever they want.
No, because we're a part of nature, and my intervention is still natural, so I can do.
I don't even know what you
Whatever.
guys are really saying. All I know is that you think aphids are cool,
Aphids are cool.
and you want to maybe get rid of bees.
No, I don't want to get rid of any animals, but I think that if they
You just don't want to be inconvenienced to save any animals.
I don't think it's my decision.
it's not. Yeah, it's not our decision.
So you even said that when he asked you what animals would you kill or save, and you're like, "That's not my decision." So right, we're playing God.
He asked me what animals would I have extinct, not
Sure,
save.
and it's
He
like
just said
that's
extinct.
not my decision. So you said
Yeah.
that you weren't the person to make that call.
I think it's
and
like-
people aren't the people to make that call.
I think what you're doing is you're thinking that animals don't have an effect on an ecosystem. I think you're undervaluing the fact that a lot of animals, and honestly, I don't know what the effect of sea turtles are on the ecosystem. I don't know what would happen to our ecosystem if you take it out. But like, I do know, like, if you took out, say, coral reefs, for instance, like that would fuck up the world, and because it would fuck up the oceans, it would fuck up the food chain. So what I'm saying is, if we just let a bunch of animals go extinct because we don't fuck them, they can't hang, I think that that's going to have a lot of unforeseen consequences, some of which probably could be addressed by technology, but some of which I think it would be more efficient if we just learn to adapt with the world we live in.
Okay, great. Here's a great argument. I have a counter argument to that. Some animals going extinct.
I thought you like agreed with my argument for a second.
No, and I'll tell
because you dinged me and I got excited.
Well, okay, I meant this then.
There we go.
I agree that that animals going extinct could have unforeseen consequences, but not letting them go extinct could also have unforeseen consequences because the climate is changing. Certain animals cannot live in this type of climate. The Sahara Desert wasn't always a desert. The Arctic wasn't always completely frozen in tundra. There were different animals that came and went over time, like the woolly mammoth. If we had intervened in the extinction of the woolly mammoth and prevented them from going extinct, who knows what other havoc we may have caused. Like pandas constantly are just eating fucking bamboo, and koalas, they eat koalas should not exist. Koalas are dumb as shit. Their brains are smooth. All they do is they eat eucalyptus leaves, which make them high. It's not even nutritional for them. Their babies can't even survive without eating shit from their mothers. That's a true thing. Look it up. Baby koalas have to eat the shit from their mothers to digest whatever the koala couldn't digest from the eucalyptus, which is a lot. Koalas are lazy. They're idiotic, dumb animals. Now, if we prevent this animal from going extinct, doesn't that also have unforeseen consequences? Because over the course of time, if an animal goes extinct and we had nothing to do with that and we couldn't intervene to stop that, why are we saying now that it's a bad thing that they do?
But we know what the consequences of having koalas around have because we have koalas around now. So the only thing we don't know is what would happen if koalas weren't around.
But
I mean, we probably have a hell of a lot more eucalyptus around.
Okay, let me ask you this. Are you okay with the natural extinction of animals?
At this point, I don't even know what is natural anymore because of the way we live our life. It's like the world isn't natural anymore. You know, it's not a level playing field. I'm not saying it should be. I'm just saying it's so fucked up now. And it's so different. Like, we're so much on top.
But
I
your
don't
goal
know
is to just keep us around as long as possible.
What's that?
But your goal is to keep us around as long as possible.
Yeah, but I also think that humans, if we live the way we live, we won't be around that long because
Is
of
it
our...
also your goal to keep us around as long as possible?
Oh, absolutely. I want humans to spread everywhere in the universe.
So we share the same goal. We're specious.
Another argument to that is you're saying, oh, koalas are like dumbasses and like fuck-ups and they should be gone. But like in the same way that if we end up screwing up the planet as human animals, like we're dumbasses and fuck-ups and should be gone and will be because we've screwed up the planet so much that we'll just disappear too.
Correct. If we don't live our lives properly, then we are the dumbasses who then have screwed up.
I mean, I agree with everything you guys are saying.
Okay, great.
Right. And what I'm saying is let's just take the wheel and floor it. and if we should be gone, then let's go. But like, who am I to decide like how to intervene on what idiot humans are humans?
And what I'm saying is, hey, let's pump the brakes. You know,
because you think you know how this planet needs to go down.
I think I know that when you have $100 in your bank account, if you spend it all really quickly, you're not going to have $100 anymore, and then you're going to be fucked. I think if you go through that $100 much slower, I think it's going to last you longer. So that's how I look at everything.
Sure, but we're not even eating these fucking turtles. They're just running into shit, and some of these animals are just dying off, and we don't know what the reason is. Over the course of time, lots of species have gone extinct naturally, and the Earth has evolved to this point, and here we are today, thriving as a species.
But don't you think like where things are moving faster now? Like the Earth has gone through changes over like millions and millions of years, but the Earth even 50 years ago today, like the amount of change that's gone through the Earth in the last 50 years is more than the amount of change that's gone through in, let's say, the last like 500 or 5,000
but
years.
You're putting a judgment on that faster is bad.
Yes, it is.
Well,
you know that for sure.
No, if you watch any nature documentary and you take a look at the amount of shit that's being dumped into the oceans, the amount of coral reefs that aren't there, yes, it is factually bad. It is
Bad
not good
in
for
the
us.
sense that humans will end.
Bad in the fact that it's going to be more difficult to sustain life across
Okay,
all species.
But I mean, not necessarily. No, because if we're all gone and everything's absolutely screwed up, humans destroyed, microorganisms will evolve to eat plastic, and then they will eat plastic the same way that microorganisms now eat a dead tree.
That's
And-
already happening.
right.
We do have some microorganisms.
So-
the first few.
So life as we know it.
Sure. So you're also making the judgment that life as we know it is the correct life and should be sustained. Life will continue.
Right.
Who's to say that current life is the one that should be extended?
Or because I want to live on this planet because I'm selfish. Is that what you want to hear?
Yeah, that's what
that's-
we've got to.
Me too. I'll agree with that.
You got me. Oh no. Oh fuck. I
Busted.
think life as we know it is. I like it. I kind of want to keep that going for as long as possible.
I do too. Look, it's great. I love it. Everything's great about it. However, over the course of time, when species do go extinct, I don't think that. I think we're taking ourselves out of the equation, and we're saying no, we should preserve these that are naturally going extinct. And I would say that human cause is natural
But
cause.
what species are naturally? When you say naturally going extinct, I think they're going extinct because of humans
that's
By the
natural,
way,
yeah.
I'm sitting here doing research, trying to find any evidence, studies, etc., on naturally extinct animals, and I'm struggling. That's what I've been doing over here, and I think Maddox is full of crap.
What are you talking
you're
about?
You're just reducing. Well, the fact that his argument is that human intervention is natural, right?
Yeah, that's my argument. Yeah,
So,
humans-
So then everything happening now is natural extinction because whatever we do.
See,
is
you're
natural.
giving yourself You're giving yourself carte blanche just
Right.
to do whatever the fuck
Well,
you
all
want.
other animals
Cool.
get carte blanche.
Yeah.
They
can't-
don't.
Why do
Yeah,
we
they
have
do.
to?
Animals
What
are
are
fucking
you
assholes.
talking about?
Animals are fucking
Have
assholes.
you ever been up to Cowschwitz? You know, DeKalb?
No, tell
All
us
the way
about
to San
Cowstrip.
Francisco. It's just like hundreds of thousands of cows in pens
Yeah.
that we put there.
Oh.
Which, by the way, hey, I eat beef, okay? And it's fine. Like, I'm fine with it. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know, like, what do
Okay.
you think? We control animals all the time.
This is okay. I'm going to ask you two questions, Ron, and this might be the one that seals the deal here.
Oh, you
okay?
put a circle around it, so I
Yes.
know it's serious.
two questions. Okay. Do you think that humans are a natural product of Earth? That humans came from some evolutionary
Yes.
process that brought us here today? Okay. Second question: if we, as a species, are to survive on Earth, and we recognize a threat to our Earth, then aren't we then obligated, by your own argument of self-preservation, to eliminate that threat?
What do you mean by threat?
Well, let's say an asteroid might be coming towards Earth.
Okay.
Okay, that's one example. Another example is, let's say we develop technology through evolution and through the growth and are thriving as a species. We develop technology to realize that a certain animal on this planet is releasing huge volumes of methane into the atmosphere that is destroying our ozone. Then aren't we as a species then obligated to prevent this from destroying our life? AKA cows in India. They are the largest polluter of methane in our entire planet.
I mean, we should probably eat all the cows and then not have any more cows, right? Is that what
Cows
you're saying?
are doing so well evolutionarily.
Yeah.
I mean, they're living miserable lives, but there are more of them on this planet than ever before.
Yeah,
They're winning.
that's true. And buffalo too. Buffalo used to be on the endangered species list, the American buffalo, but it's no longer on the list because people started eating it and harvesting it.
If you just go by mass, the most successful species on the planet are ants.
Ants. Yeah, fucking ants. I hate ants.
Fucking killing it.
Fuck ants. I hate ants so much.
And you
They're
can hate
garbage
ants, you can
animals.
kill them. And yeah, I would try and preserve the benefits that these animals bring to our planet.
Like the bee thing, right? Bees are going away, and now we suddenly have all these
That
jobs.
we solve all this stuff with technology.
Yeah, we solve this with technology.
Yeah,
and-
I think in some cases we do, but I don't think it's necessarily as efficient as just letting the animal do its thing in the first place. I mean, I know you read that one study where they had a 30% higher yield for that one instance, but
Yeah.
I'm not about to say, well, fuck bees.
I mean, again, oxen versus farm machines.
Farm machines.
Tractors. We replace them, or they're much more efficient. I I'm so much more comfortable in a car with air conditioning than on the horse's back. Horses are they're shit animals. Oh man, which I can't, just a quick aside, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out.
Yeah, no, a couple of friends at work were talking about it.
Oh, I can't wait. And I'm going to do a full, probably like a 14-hour stream where I try to kill every horse in the game.
You can finally see what the world is like when you get to decide who's extinct.
Red Dead Redemption, my world, my map is just going to be just horse corpses everywhere.
Horse corpse.
I'll be so happy. Oh, I'm going to run him off of cliffs.
What's the animal that pisses you off? Is it the sea turtle?
Many.
Listen, I know you.
Yeah.
I know why you're making this argument. It's because there's an animal that you're like, fuck this guy. I hate this guy. I wish we didn't have any of these. So give me the top 5 animals that you just piss you off.
Okay, top 5. It's got to be whales is up there.
I know whales
this
is
is predictable.
up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whales is up there. Horses, of course. And ants. We've mentioned all these: horses, whales, ants, and then we have what else?
Mine would be just
koalas,
like mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes. Yeah. So that's a
Fucking
good
can't
question.
stand mosquitoes.
So this is something that bioethicists are debating hotly right now, which is, should we eliminate mosquitoes because we have that possibility?
We have the
now.
power?
We have the power.
Fuck.
What they
Just one
did.
EMP and they're gone.
We're gonna Thanos it.
No, they actually genetically engineered a mosquito with a Terminator gene. So if it reproduces, what happens is the next generation.
I thought you were joking. Terminator
No,
gene.
Absolutely. It's
Wow.
fascinating. I think Radiolab or NPR did a piece on this a while back where you can go to, this is a lab in Brazil where they have regular mosquitoes and the Terminator mosquitoes. And if you shine a UV light on them, the Terminator mosquitoes like glow red. They have, they actually glow red and you can tell which one's which.
I don't know what biological.
Anybody like mosquitoes? Like,
Are there mosquitoes?
I hate mosquitoes.
I mean, yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like, but I don't know what biological function they have. But what I am scared about is the fact, let's say we do this mosquito thing, right?
Yeah.
Let's say we kill all the mosquitoes.
Right.
Fucking high five each other. We fucking did it. And let's say the biology of it all totally worked out. Be like, yeah, guess what? Shit's the same as before, but now we can enjoy summer more. What I'm afraid of is that will give us the confidence to do it again. And I'm afraid that at one point we will do something that we can't take back. And that will have consequences that will royally fuck us.
Yeah, well, that's a flaw of our species, isn't it, Ron? You know we're gonna fuck up. We just do it all the time, and we're gonna keep doing it until we maybe fuck up less. But I think
I think we can do something where we fuck up to a point where it's a fuck up you can't
irreversible.
fix.
Yeah, well, guess what? Then maybe it's time for the fucking shark monkeys to take over Earth. Like, whatever the new species is, I'm okay with that. Fuck it. We fucked up.
It's like an eugenics argument, except that we're in the dying breed that's just got to go.
Hey, real quick, we got a super chat from Lintilla Taylor for $20.
Whoa!
Thank you, Lintilla. Very cool.
Aw.
Here, we get one of those. She says, for Taylor and watching his face while he Googles things while the others in the room talk out of their asses.
Oh my God.
But also, she says, I've had a lot of fun listening to the podcast for months. Thank you, Lintilla.
Thank you, Lintilla.
Very cool.
And you are so right. This is just a podcast where people are talking out of their ass.
That's incorrect.
So I would need more time on this, but Maddox is absolutely false in saying
Fuck out
that
here.
there have been natural extinctions.
Of course they have.
Your whole premise is based on a lie.
What
We
do you
should just
think
stop
you're
the
fucking
argument
Been
here.
extinction
You know what?
before
Okay, hold on.
humans.
Yeah, what's that?
There have been extinctions before humans.
Yeah. What about the woolly mammoth, shithead? Where
What
were
about
humans on that
all
one?
the dinosaurs?
Yeah, every dinosaur.
Oh, okay. The dinosaurs got hit by a meteor.
Oh.
That's.
Oh, is that
What
was
happened? Were you there? Or-
Yeah.
But we're talking about natural. Like I like.
Is that not natural?
I even struggle to say a meteor is natural. Like that's extra natural.
The fuck are you talking about? What about
It's not within our ecosystem.
look up the Galapagos? Okay, look up species on the Galapagos
I
Islands.
think it's pronounced Galapagos. What an idiot.
I also do research on mosquitoes, and it seems like it's only going to be an issue in the Arctic tundra to put the mosquito species out of business, I was going to say, because of a bunch of stuff about laying eggs and yada, yada, yada. But, like, that's, the one area where it becomes an issue.
Well, so then would you just lay out and let a bunch of mosquitoes, bite you because they needed your blood to survive because we
Yeah.
need mosquitoes on this
No.
earth?
Ron, the
Obviously
mosquito
not.
Jesus over
Somebody's got to combat the old
feast.
Green Hitler?
Yeah.
Nah.
Drink my wine. Drink my body. Drink my blood. These
None of my
mosquitoes.
blood.
Feed on my blood.
Body of Ron.
Yeah.
I
Amen.
kind of want to
Mosquito
research
Jesus.
this whole China yield thing and say that's a lie too, and just have this whole podcast be Maddox talks out of his ass for 45
Fucking full of
minutes,
shit.
while we all
Taylor-
just try to be reasonable and you try to be funny, but you're full of lies.
Taylor, there's been so many species that have gone extinct on the Galapagos Islands, which are the most virgin islands on Earth. That doesn't mean there's a lot of virgins there. But it's just untouched. There's a lot of species that get discovered every single year, and some of
Well,
them
yeah,
are just
okay,
discovered
but-
for a blip and they're gone.
Yeah, okay, but realize that just because these islands have been untouched by man, it doesn't mean that they aren't affected by man.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we're so fucking successful, Ron. What do you want me to do? Like kill myself?
Do you-
Species?
Yeah.
Kill
Like,
every. Yeah.
Like, do you think we're the most successful species?
Okay, not in biomass because we talked about ants, but I do think ants are worthless garbage animals that should be launched into the sun. But yes, I do think I think so, Ron. Yeah, absolutely. We're the most successful species. We know programming languages and we have cartoons. That's amazing. Would you say that one of the hallmarks of being a successful species, I think we could share common ground on this, is longevity, being Okay.
around.
I'll give you
like
that.
the longer we're around,
Yes.
the more powerful we'll be. I think we have the same core interest, is that we want to be around as long as possible.
Yes.
Our species.
Yes.
Because I agree.
Yeah.
I think we're fucking awesome.
Yeah.
We have Xboxes.
Right.
Fucking deer don't have Xboxes.
Deers don't have shit.
Yeah. I mean, have you heard the way fucking like otters, all they have to do is play with toys that we give them.
Yeah.
Right? They don't have any toy. Like, they play with a pine cone, but then they lose their shit when we drop a plastic ball in the aquarium. We gave them that.
We gave them.
We hooked them up, and they look cute for us. So there's a good symbiotic relationship.
Symbiotic
He's
relationship.
gonna
Yeah.
get it caught in his nose.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
if he does, fuck him. He can't hang.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that I think that we're still figuring stuff out, and I think we should not make animals go extinct, because I think that they can help us. They could do shit for us. Stuff that we don't even realize that they do.
You know what, Ron? You get a little ding and a little clap because I think you're right. I think we should. And the less nice way of saying what you just said is we should exploit animals. Okay.
Or what are you going to do for us?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're on board. There's some common ground there. We got another super chat from Pavich Bavin in the chat room. Says, Taylor, remember the first 4 billion years of life on Earth and how humans only showed up 200,000 years ago? Explain those extinctions that are older than 200,000 years, Taylor.
I would say it's not extinction then. It's natural selection, and it's different than having an entire species come into existence and then be wiped out. So there's a difference between natural selection and a species going extinct at that point. And I think that there's a vast difference. And what you're thinking of is the natural selection aspect of evolution, which is not an entire species has its place in the ecosystem and it's wiped out.
Well, look, there are these arguments that are made. I forget which lake. There was a type of carp that was introduced into this lake, and it became an, quote, invasive species, and it just took over the entire fucking lake, ate all the food, ate all the other fish, and all that's left in this lake is this type of carp. I think it's
Carp's gonna
tiger.
carp.
Carpe diem, am I right?
Yeah.
The carp wasn't like, oh shit, I better extend my longevity or have some sort of conscience about keeping this ecosystem going. No animals are acting like us when they're trying to take care of the
They're
earth.
just eating and fucking as much as possible.
So they're just following their animalistic instincts.
Right. Yes, and I was saying
And so
that
you're
earlier.
saying-
No, animals are stopped all the time from doing.
well,
the
we
natural-
stop them all the time
Right.
from
Sure,
doing
but
natural stuff.
sure, but they're never going to have a conscience and adjust.
So you're
to-
saying that because animals don't have a conscience, that we shouldn't have a conscience,
No.
even though we do have a conscience.
But I don't think it's unethical to let animals go extinct. I'm arguing that it is ethical and natural, and it just happens all the time. And we are part of nature. Therefore, anything we do is also natural.
Taylor was. Oh my god.
I got to
Right.
respond to someone in the comments saying Neanderthals went extinct. No, humans had a process with that going extinct. Every single animal that's gone extinct, humans
Homo
have had an
sapiens
issue.
and Homo erectus were two separate things. Homo erectus stopped, and it might have been because Homo sapiens fucked them over.
That's a good point. Well, if one species destroys or eats the entire resource of another species, and that species goes extinct due to that species A, the alpha species, let's call it, like the tiger carp that's taken over this pond. Like, people say that's an invasive species. Humans introduced those into the pond, and that's, quote, unnatural, even though humans are a natural byproduct of Earth. However, there are occasions where tornadoes pull up animals from one area or water spouts or hurricanes or whatever, and then drop them in another one. You'll find, and that's how some species of finch got to the Galapagos Island from the different continents, and that's that's the prevailing scientific theory. That can happen, and those type of species will thrive and survive on those islands, and sometimes they'll become predatory, and they'll at the expense of other animals on that island. So what do we do then? Do we just say, oh, well, Earth fucked up, we should preserve these species? Or do we just let nature take its course and be like, well, now fucking Georgia's full of kudzu, and it sucks, but what do we do?
Oh, no.
Yeah, good point. Point, Maddox.
So you're...
At this point, I just don't believe anything you said.
But you're saying anything... we're from this earth, we're natural, so anything we do is natural.
Yeah.
So you're giving yourself you can do anything and it's natural. I'm not going to meet you there, man. I mean, that's just I think there's plenty of shit we do doesn't seem natural.
Well, yeah, some animals are going to, birds run into our windows all the time, and they die. Should we just not have windows? How much do we adapt to try to accommodate species?
I don't think we've adapted much at all.
So when does it become unnatural? Where are you drawing that line? Should we be Amish? Is the nature even less than that? Should we all be hunting and gathering?
I don't know where the line is, but I know there should be a line. Just because I don't have the answer doesn't mean that I still don't have a point.
That's true. This is a really I'm
You're
totally
right.
genuine. This is a fascinating debate. I really think because I think that at the start of it, this was going to be a slam dunk. I think both of you, Allie, you were going to be on Ron's side at the start of the debate, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. But
And then
now
I started talking.
Well, it just because
God Babcock over here is wanting to
This
say
one. Jesus Christ, you and your goddamn farm machines. We made farm machines. We'll be fine.
Look, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is either. I do know. I'm on board with the preservation argument because it's like a bank account. If you have $100 in your bank account and that's all you have, you want to make it last, and so you can get to that next nut.
Yeah.
Same thing. Taylor knows. All right.
I can't wait to go into Chase tomorrow and be like, yeah, I want to deposit some of my nut.
I think my idea is that it all comes down to balance, and if we're not bringing balance, if we're over, I don't know what the opposite of balance is, but bringing too much to one side, which
Imbalance.
Imbalance is the opposite.
that's where it becomes a problem. Yeah. And nature by definition is perfect balance. And so if
You think so? What about Mercury? What about the planet
no.
Mercury?
Well, are you talking about a different planet?
Yeah, the different planet Mercury, the one
I'm talking about
Mercury,
Earth.
Venus, Earth, Mars.
Well, I think you could also extend that to the whole universe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't
If it
know.
was perfect balance, we wouldn't have happened and then stepped out of the food chain and jumped to the top.
I do think part of nature is chaos, though.
Yes.
Yes,
And
of course.
shit does continue to work.
And we're having the audacity to say that we're in charge of keeping that chaos at bay.
Yeah, and I'm having the audacity to say that I don't think that that's going to work out.
Well, okay, so then if we're there to keep the chaos at bay, then we should use as much science and resources as possible to figure that out, right? So maybe the answer is that we replace bees with the machines that do bee work.
Right now,
that's keeping the chaos down because we found out with science, so we should be doing that and kill bees.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Again, I'm not arguing we should kill bees, but if they go extinct and we replace them temporarily with humans with little brushes painting pollen onto flower buds, eventually we'll replace those humans with little drone bees.
To me, it's like a dam, in a cartoon when a dam has a little leak.
Yeah.
And you put your finger in the leak, and then one pops out 6 feet away, and you put your other finger there, and then another one pops out, and you use your forehead to block it.
Yeah.
I feel like all these little technological advancements we have, we're fixing problems that we ourselves created. And they're doing a good job, but I feel like sooner or later the dam is going to bust unless we learn to just kind of live with the life rather than always try and be in charge of it all.
You're assuming the fixes aren't better than what's there now.
Yeah.
They might be.
They might be.
It's kind
in
of
some
like an
cases they might be,
economy.
and in
It's
some
like
cases they might not.
If you overregulate certain marketplaces in an economy, eventually you have to balance it by regulating over here and then over there and over there because you started with one type of faulty regulation and then all of a sudden the economy crashes. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of the same thing.
Lintilla in the chat room says perfect balance is heat death of the universe, or she's asking that question. So this goes to a very deeply philosophical question about one of the laws of the universe, which is entropy. The second law of thermodynamics is the law of entropy, which says essentially that the universe is always tending towards chaos, or not necessarily even chaos. There's less order in the universe, so never more order. I think life is the one thing that exists that stands in contrast to that law, because life is order. We create order in this universe. We create squares and buildings and shapes and radio signals, and we make a signal out of the noise, whereas everything else in the universe is tending towards chaos and disorder. And it may just be an inevitable conclusion of the universe where due to the second law of thermodynamics, everything is going to go to the cooling of the universe.
It is chaotic. That's also like from our perspective. You know what I mean? Like we view that as chaotic when because we're here for only, we look at through life through such a small perspective and a small lens. Yeah. So from our vantage point, it's chaotic. And I agree. I think it's chaotic. But then I don't know if you take a look at the macro view of the entire universe and how it works, which I don't know. Is it maybe all this shit? Maybe there's a perfect order to it. It just looks chaotic to us.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, I mean, until there's evidence that there is some order in the universe, that we are tending towards order and not disorder, which is unfortunate. Like if you take an ice cube and you put it in the table, eventually the molecules are going to vibrate more and more until the ice cube melts, and those molecules will dissipate. They'll evaporate into the atmosphere, and that's essentially what everything is kind of happening in the universe right now. We're all kind of growing apart, and molecules are kind of just bouncing around. Eventually, all the energy in the universe with every star will be expended when every hydrogen atom combines with every other hydrogen and helium and so on, until there's nothing but heavy elements left. Mm-hmm. And the heavy elements will eventually create a black hole, because the gravity will collapse in on itself, right? The gravity of the heavy elements within the core of a sun. Mm-hmm. That's kind of where our universe is heading to our knowledge.
No matter what happens, we're not going to be around.
But you're trying to be there because you want that $100 to last.
Yes, absolutely. But because what's the alternative?
Well, it started with the Big Bang, and that was absolute structure and absolute form. And then it burst from that into chaos, which will come back. So it's kind of like it's like a
back and forth.
Well,
the universe is breathing.
Yeah, that's another theory that the universe could snap back. The rubber band theory of the universe.
But at this point, so if it's all going to end, really comes down to what's the point? Is
correct? What is the point? Vote on madcastmedia.com.
By the way, I don't think humans are the final form of evolution.
I don't think so either. I think that there will be a singularity, and this is some scary shit. My good friend Robert Hamburger, the guy who created Real Ultimate Power.
Name?
Wait, yeah. You have a good friend named Robert Hamburger?
Robert Hamburger, yeah, the guy who made RealUltimatePower.com.
And then my other friend, Tom Cottage Cheese.
Robert Hamburger always argues he's kind of worried and afraid of, I think, the singularity.
So for those of us what the fuck is singularity again? It's one of those words I nod when I hear it, but I don't really know what the fuck it is.
We're kind of we're definitely we're in the foothills of the singularity.
Oh, is that where
now.
I'm going to get Google in my eyes?
That's part of it, but it's part of our consciousness, our collective consciousness being online. There is, people talk about the internet did this thing, or the internet said that, or the internet responded to blah, blah, blah. The internet is not a person. However, you can kind of talk about the internet in the way that it's responding to something as a collective. What are you going to say?
So the singularity, the easiest way you can think about it is that there will be a moment in time, and this is a statistical inevitability because of everything we know, that we will create a computer that in that moment will be able to create a computer that's smarter and better than it. And in that moment, because it can create a computer that's smarter and better than it, it can go through infinity. So it can create the smartest, best computer that you can possibly even conceive of in that moment.
It is a collective consciousness, I think, the singularity.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. And everything becomes one.
Everything becomes one. Your consciousness will be the same as mine. And then as a species, I think...
So you're going to, are you going to, know when I jerk off?
Yeah. Well, I mean...
We'll collectively
jerk off, yeah. So
it's not really jerking off if we're doing it collectively.
It's the ultimate jerk off.
Whoa. I'm on board for this.
This is one of those conversations where none of us are.
We're going to ejaculate so hard that we're going to shoot off onto a new planet.
That's basically what we're doing. We're just coming out babies, and then some of them land on planets, hopefully. That's... Did I nail it or what? We got a super chat in the chat room from Zimex02. He says, as the foremost academic in the chat, I can say that in simple terms, entropy is heat and then in parentheses, disorder in particles that can't be reverted. Life is disorder. That's
Thank you
correct.
for the super chat. That
Yeah.
was very kind of you.
Thank you very much. Guys, before we move on, I do want to mention today's episode is brought to you by Little Platinum Books. Guys, these are amazing children's books. But thank you to our new sponsor, guys. This is fantastic. Go to littleplatnumbooks.com. They are launching a Kickstarter for these books, and they're hilarious. I look at this, and it's kind of almost like your child's first introduction to satire, unless they discover my website. They're writing these children's books like the Little Golden Books, except they're called Little Platinum Books, and they have these titles in there like How to Rob a Bank, and it's a story about like a father and his child. They go to a bank on a bank robbing adventure, and it covers everything from planning the warehouse, securing the hostages, cracking the vault, and attempting to outsmart the police. It has, and it's done like a child's book. There's like children's illustrations in there. There's another one, How to Wipe a Crime Scene, and it talks about all the different like chemicals and things you could use, and how to handle a gun, how to be an archaeologist, how to hunt ghosts. So these are kind
How to
of
be an archaeologist. That one actually
That
sounds
one's
like an
reasonable.
actual
Yeah.
kid's book.
yeah, that one's the one I'm like, that one I can see that one. It's
So we'll read it. Maybe they take a left turn.
Yeah, I'm sure it's like some Indiana Jones style adventure. Guys, this project, I think they have another 20 or so days to go with their Kickstarter. Please check them out. They're fantastic. I'm talking to the guy who created this company, and he even does this thing around the country called Brews and Books. Excuse me, it's a Brew and Books event where they go to like different brew pubs or coffee shops or whatever, and they go on stage and they read books and they drink beer and they talk about different ideas they want to do for their next books. And it's kind of a way to get parents out with their children to spend time with their kids reading, introducing them to this kind of material. And this is really great stuff because if you think about it, your first instinct is like, oh, this doesn't sound appropriate for kids. But Gulliver's Travel, right, a classic children's tale, was written by Jonathan Swift, right? Mm-hmm. Jonathan Swift also wrote, he was basically the first satirist. He wrote A Modest Proposal, which was basically telling people that the solution to poverty is to have the poor people eat their children. A horrendous solution, but it underlines the stark contrast of wealth disparity in that country and how desperate the situation was. And he used sarcasm and humor to do that. Jonathan Swift was one of the first satirists and one of the best children's storytellers of all time. This is in that tradition. Little Platinum Books, guys. It's a fantastic Kickstarter. I'm backing it. Check it out, guys. littleplatnumbooks.com. We really appreciate the sponsorship, and we'll be hopefully hearing more of these guys. I'm going to check in with their Kickstarter from time to time. It's fantastic, very tongue-in-cheek humor. Let me know what you guys think, what your favorite books on the website are, the favorite titles. But thank you again. littleplatnumbooks.com, guys. Check it out. Back their Kickstarter. Really appreciate the sponsorship. But it's time to move on to the recap of last week's debate. So we talked about this a little bit during the episode. Last week we debated whether or not straws should be banned, plastic straws. Allie, what do you think?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, incorrect. That's incorrect. But we put the vote to the audience, and we got the results in with a 61% vote. No! Yeah!
Wow.
Hero! I can drink my beverage however the fuck I want. That's amazing. And we got a shit ton of voicemail about
I know
this
we
too.
got a ton of voicemail on this one.
And Ron,
Yeah.
we also asked the audience last week. I don't know if you remember, but I asked them, does Ron Babcock deserve a promotion?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we have the results, Ron. I don't know if you're going to be disappointed or pleased with this, but with a 67% vote, yes!
Whoa!
Congratulations!
Wow.
Ron
That's some
Babcock.
high numbers.
Yeah. Ron is our first tangent officer. Now, his job on the show is to introduce tangents when we are on track.
Yeah, you stayed way on track today. You did a
sometimes
bad
you get
job.
something that just like, I'm like, what bullshit is he slinging today? And then I just get real focused. So yeah, I haven't been as great of a tangent officer as I have been previously.
Yeah, well, that's okay, Ron, because the audience has spoken and it's a binding vote. So I have to abide by this vote, and I have to give you a promotion. So, Ron, you are going from first tangent officer to Rear Admiral of Tangents. Congratulations.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Rear Admiral?
Rear Admiral of Tangents.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations.
That seems like it's much higher than first tangent
Oh,
officer.
yeah, it's way up there.
Is the Rear Admiral in front of Admiral or behind Admiral?
It's behind Admiral.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
This level.
Yeah.
It's one behind Admiral.
Yeah, you're taking up the
Behind-
rear.
I am going to take up I'm going to take tangents in the rear, up the rear, around the rear.
Ron Babcock, first tangent officer.
Rear
Congratulations, Ron.
Admiral tangent.
Rear
officer.
Admiral Tangent Officer. That's correct. Congratulations, Ron.
Thank
and
you.
Guys, keep voting on madcastmedia.com. This is your chance to vote on the debate. But we should get to some voicemail, and then we've got some quick news headlines with our journalist in moderation, Taylor Nikolai. Here's the first voicemail. This is about the plastic straws. So I made the case that it's a small percentage of the pollution in the ocean,
Yeah, right.
and I'm sure the Taylor Nikolais of this podcast would argue that I'm full of shit, but I'm not, because listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, this is Daniel. I just wanted to tell you that I found out the number that you were looking for about how much plastic comes from plastic straws. It's 0.03% of ocean plastic comes from straws. Compare that to 46% that comes from fishing nets. It's pretty ridiculous. This number is also verified by this other channel, but they came up with 0.02%. So whatever. Anyway, good number. Band sucks. Whatever. See ya.
Yeah. 0.02% is what I heard, and he's saying like 0.03. It's like 0.02 to 0.03%, and the U.S. is like the 16th largest polluter of plastics into the ocean. I think China is by far number one. Like China accounts for like 45 to 60% of all pollution in the ocean.
This is why you shouldn't recycle, because us as like general people compared to what Walmart and giant corporations do, it's like pointless. It's like a drop in the ocean for us to recycle. So don't.
So this would kind
I
of
don't know what's a bit, what's not a bit.
this is kind of an anti-libertarian argument, though, Taylor. I want to run this by you, but what do you think of a global government? Because we cannot regulate China. China is the biggest polluter. So what do? How do we regulate China, or do we?
You're asking me, should there be a global government?
Yeah. Are you
A global government would never exist because
are you a
there's
globalist?
they're too big of a world. Like you couldn't have
headed there already.
you couldn't have an
The
organization.
singularity's bringing us into one.
Well, we have
man.
the United Nations.
I
we
mean,
have NATO.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I become one of those hacks that goes like, instead of a global economy, you would regulate things through the blockchain, and like that would be the way that you
It goes back
actually.
to crypto with this
I
guy.
know, I'm just
But
a
it's so
hack, but
possible.
it's like a global government doesn't make any feasible sense. It just wouldn't work, and then it would be too costly to get it to actually function after wars that would have to lead to it working in the first place.
Okay, we got another voicemail.
Why am I on this podcast? I am just a hack. I hate this.
We got another voicemail. This guy might have a solution to the straw problem, which, by the way, this does sound like an actual solution. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. Everyone gives themselves nicknames, so I'll guess I will be the reasonable Canadian. Here's the solution to your latest debate. Biodegradable plastics made from plants like corn. You could keep using straws, and they're completely compostable. And while they're slightly more expensive than plastic, a quick Google search tells me they have a unit price of 1.5 to 2 cents. Done. And since I assume you're on the Nobel Prize Committee, you can send me my Peace Prize. Make sure to wrap it in one of those free T-shirts. I don't want my medal getting scratched. Cheers.
Yeah, okay, you're not getting a free T-shirt or a free Nobel Prize, but that seems like a real
That
solution.
seems like a great solution.
Yeah, there
No,
you go.
there's too much corn, and it's killing us because we need to intervene on how much corn is on the planet.
There you go, Allie. Good point.
Is there too much corn?
Yeah.
Well, then we can
do
get
produce
rid
a
of-
ton corn.
I mean, I know we do produce a ton of corn. Is it too much?
And the way we produce it was the ton of resources that we need to be regulating.
I've already been going to bars and stuff where
Are you
people-
defending dirt? I'm confused. What, like,
I'm defending our longevity again.
I don't know. Like, is corn like bad for the dirt? Like, I honestly, I don't know.
Well, in the same way that like you don't want some species to go extinct, you wouldn't want some plants to go extinct, and like that's totally possible because the earth is covered in corn.
All right.
Are there any plants that you guys would like extinct? I'll go first. Tulips.
Do you like
Yeah.
tulips?
I just like to stomp them.
Don't go to Amsterdam.
Wait, if you like to
Really?
stomp them, they won't be there to stomp.
The tulips have a festival. The Amsterdam has a tulip festival. They have like fields of just tulips. It's actually really beautiful.
I'll stomp right through the fields. Hey, Allie, that's a shit argument because if you know the poppies you get, the packaging pops,
Yeah.
you pop them, they're super fun, and then your argument would be like, well, if you pop them all, then you won't have any left to pop.
I haven't watched the last season of Game of Thrones because if I watch it, there will be no Game of Thrones left.
I've done that with other shows too, where it's like I never watch the final episode because it's like in my heart the show is still happening.
Yeah, my happiest moment of my week is when Game of Thrones starts, and the saddest part of my week is the second Game of Thrones ends.
Oh, that's why I never graduated from college.
Student.
Here's another voicemail. Ron, this is a guy who agrees with you. Listen to this.
Maddox, you really sounded pretty fucking terrible in last week's debate about the plastic straws. Ron, he was killing it. Ron was doing fucking great. And he said probably the best thing that I heard that entire show, which was that it's a conversation starter to get us started thinking about single-use plastic. That's all it is. Nobody's like, oh yeah, getting rid of plastic straws is going to save the planet. Like, duh. Nobody's that fucking dumb. Not even
Are
the
you playing
government.
this music?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love the show. But still, you sounded pretty bad in that debate. And pretty much you just sounded like an asshole. So yeah.
Yeah, fuck you, man. Yeah, okay, Ron.
I like this guy.
I know you like this guy. The conversation starter thing. Sometimes after the podcast, I'll think of all these arguments, and you do too, Ron.
I do. On the way home, I'm never as on point as on my drive home.
Oh, exactly. Because you'll think, like, oh, I should have said this thing. Yeah. And I had one of those last week, too.
I know. I have one, too, and I totally forgot it.
Here's what I want to say.
I meant to call you and be like, oh, I did another fucking thing.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm like, Ron, he gets so fired. I was like, oh, I thought of a counter argument. And I do too. And here's mine to that one. We already had that conversation starter. It was called the plastic bag ban. And guess what? We fucking started the conversation. Guess where the conversation took us to? Banning fucking plastic straws. So that's a shitty conversation.
Do you know how many conversations my girlfriend has to have with me about how I should buy new shoes? Because all my shoes, like, she just made a PowerPoint presentation for me about new shoes that I should buy because I don't like to buy new shoes. And so
new shoes.
I don't know. I just don't
She
want
made a PowerPoint presentation for you.
Yeah, she made it. It's actually pretty good.
Can we see it?
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
She emailed it to me because I was actually had some good points. But she talked about like different essential type of shoes that you had. She needs to have that conversation with me like multiple times a year. Can't just have one conversation about plastic bags, man.
Yeah.
Needs to have multiple conversations.
So you're saying that the plastic bag ban is the start of like a global nagging of plastic.
That's exactly, dude. That's exactly what I'm saying.
There you go.
That is, you nailed it.
Well, we are pre-extincting the animals that are going to eat all that plastic.
Yeah.
If we cut out the plastic, we're making the decision that we should kill those animals.
Like Allie, I feel like no matter what we
Pre-extinction.
do,
How dare you?
no matter what we do, we're fucked.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, speaking of fucked, here's so Ron, every now and then, if one of us misspeaks, we get a bunch of corrections. I got a couple of corrections for something you said last episode about
that I misspoke.
Oh yeah,
impossible.
Yeah, listen to listen to
misheard.
this. Yeah, well, listen to this guy.
Hey, shithead, it's Denver, the last dinosaur, not Dino.
Oh fuck! It is Denver.
And that's like here's another one. Listen.
Ron, you fucking idiot! It's Denver, the last dinosaur! Jesus Christ!
That's the angriest, the most fired up we got.
I love it.
Oh
man.
Here's another voicemail. This is from the Real Christian Atheist on whether or not I should become a doctor. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, it's me. Have you ever considered like becoming a doctor? Not like a medical doctor, obviously, but like getting a PhD in something like maybe like whatever the easiest PhD you could get. Think about that, let that stew, and then, maybe Dr. Maddox will exist. Fuck whales.
Yeah. Now, a little bit of a backhanded compliment there. Whatever the easiest doctor is. You know what? It doesn't. I'm already a professor. I don't need to be a doctor.
Oh, what are you a professor of?
Professor of Madcast Media. My Twitch channel. Haven't you checked out my Twitch channel? I'm a professor of Fortnite.
I tried to get into the class, but it was all full.
I'm a professor of many things. Love making.
You need to go to school for this.
Yeah, love maker. Anyway, Anyway, guys, that's it for voicemail. Taylor, now it's time for some quick news headlines. What do you got for us?
6 crows specifically trained to pick up cigarette ends and rubbish will be put to work next week at a French historic theme park.
What's a historic French theme park?
Yeah, French historic theme park. What is that?
I don't know.
Something about
something in France. It
sounds
it's a
like
theme park.
You know what? You know how like in the U.S. we have that hokey shit where you go to it's Western World and you go and it's just a bunch of fucking shitty log cabins and then you get the old timey photos with like that shit where they never clean. You know, the hats and the little glasses and feathers. and things they put on
and an out of work actor ushers you around.
Yeah,
he's got
they're
work.
actually in work.
That's true. He's acting.
And they sell you that corn on the cob with like the purple corn, the kernels, and you're like, why the fuck is this purple?
Yeah, the colonial corn.
Yeah, the French version of that is like the historic French one, where it's probably just like a bunch of I don't know what's different. I was gonna say a bunch
Like
of
being in Les Mis.
Yeah, Les Mis. It's like Les Mis style, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The goal is not just to clear up, because the visitors are generally careful to keep things clean, but also to show that nature itself can teach us to take care of the environment.
yeah, there you go. Hey, so this is the perfect solution. Put the fucking animals to use. All right, then you people will start breeding animals they need.
Yeah, I remember they did. We've done that with dogs. Over the years, like a lot of the English gentry.
Can we extinct corgis, please? Because those little shits should
Why don't
not
you
be
like
surviving.
corgis?
I mean, they're adorable. Look at them. But if you put that out in nature, 5 minutes, gone.
Yeah, that was
That thing
all
needs
dogs.
me to stay alive.
They were made by the Queen. They were that was the thing, but they served no purpose other than like literally being like a lap dog. But they weren't like a hunter dog or anything like that. But they were for the Queen to get a little dog, little paws.
Oh, how about that? I heard that if you take any kind of domesticated dog and put it out into nature, within, I think, 2 generations, it just becomes another feral dog. Or not even that, like even like a few months or something, it just becomes a feral dog.
Like 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 minutes, yeah.
My dog is...
A feral corgi? I want to see that now.
Yeah.
My dog's favorite game is called Is This Trash? Does It Fit in My Mouth? It just is like a fucking psycho when it goes outside.
sounds like your dog could be a crow at this French historic.
It is neat. They teach him to. They get the trash and then they bring it back to some machine. They put the trash in the machine and then it spits out a little bit of food. It's like a little vending machine for him.
Huh.
When you said the thing about how your dog plays the game worth the trash in your mouth, I was gonna say I play that game with your mom.
Boom, burn. I'm not even sure.
I mean, my mom does enjoy eating trash in her mouth.
Obese tourists crippling donkeys on Greek island.
Oh my God.
Wait. Oh, they're crippling. They're breaking the donkeys' backs.
Yep.
Holy shit.
The Greek island of Santorini is known for its stunning views, steep hills, and tradition of using donkeys as the main form of transportation.
Hold on. I've been to Santorini. I've been to that island. And I didn't ride a single fucking donkey.
Maddox has a story
you're too
for
fat?
everything.
Yeah.
They were like, sorry, bro.
I did go to Santorini. They have those black sand beaches, which like, oh, cool, black sand beaches. They fucking suck because it's hot as shit. Imagine like walking on asphalt during a hot summer day. That's a black sand beach. So the time it takes for you to walk to the actual ocean, you need to stand in the ocean because your feet are on fire.
So
Anyway.
did you not see donkeys?
We should extinct those beaches.
Yeah, we should extinct. At least paint them.
Yeah.
Paint them white.
Yeah.
Lava sucks. Lava rock sucks. Yeah, I didn't ride a single fucking donkey.
But did you see donkeys? Like, were they actually used as transportation, or is this all a Maddox type of lie?
Yeah, I don't. Fuck you, Taylor. I didn't see a single fucking donkey, although I did probably see some donkey shit.
All right.
But in Santorini, the number one transportation method was buses and then motorcycles.
While most tourists love traveling the island on a donkey, activists are now saying visitors from the U.S. and Europe are too fat to sit on the animals. The word fat was actually used in the article.
That's hilarious.
Activists with, quote, help the Santorini donkeys, unquote, told multiple news outlets in the United Kingdom that overweight tourists are crippling donkeys who are developing spine and leg problems from carrying so many people.
More like a fativist.
Oh my gosh, Ron. Correct. That's our activists.
If you're big enough, wouldn't you just know, like,
Yeah.
I'm too big for this donkey?
Right. I've definitely had like girlfriends who want to carry me around like a piggyback. I'm like, I'm too big. I'll break you. And she goes, no, it's fine. I'll do it. And I jump on her back. She's like, oh, it's too heavy. I'm like, I told you.
Voice.
I date a bunch of crones. I just dated a bunch of
Come
hags.
on, Maddox.
Maddox, where were you? You said you were going to be home by 8.
The donkey thing, I mean, I think that, like, they have a right to be like, hey, sorry, you can't go on our donkey. Like, there's got to be a point, a threshold. Maybe they should just have a scale. You go into a scale, be a private room, and if it's over a certain weight, you don't get to ride the donkey.
No, you know what?
I mean, we've got height requirements at the
same thing.
roller coasters.
For
What were you saying?
safety.
Eventually, the donkey, you're going to find one fucking donkey who has a fucking solid gold back, right? And then, like, really, really developed calf muscles. And then guess what? That donkey is going to be the successor donkey. And then you're going to
Breed that one.
you're going to breed fucking super donkeys that can carry our fat asses around. How fucking
Extinct
cool.
the rest of them.
Yeah, extinct the rest of them. I like that you use extinct as a verb. What else you got, Taylor?
Professors allow students to pick their own grade.
Yeah, I'm on board with that.
A literature class at Davidson College this fall will use contract grading, allowing students to pick ahead of time their grade for the class and the workload they need to complete to earn it.
Whoa, wait, ahead of time?
Yeah.
So, like, first day, yeah, I got an A.
Okay, so I guess the whole point is before the semester starts, you say, I want to get an A. And they'll give you, or at this college, the class will give you a workload dependent on that grade.
So if I just want to see... This feels weird, though.
Yeah, that does feel because you know what? They're going to try to guess what the A workload is, but sometimes the A workload for the class is lower than your A workload.
Yeah,
So you might be an overachiever.
This is all dumb.
Yeah.
This is a stupid
It's a
idea.
se-
it's a trap.
It's a stupid, very American idea.
It just
too.
feels very arbitrary, too. Is like the idea of taking a class, like, I'm only going to do a B and learn 80% of this subject. Like, it just feels weird. Like,
Yeah.
it feels like they're putting numbers on something that you don't necessally can't put a number on.
I would be curious what a D class is. They just give you like one worksheet and then
But nobody would choose that because then you don't get credit for the class.
probably a C. Then at the very least, you could do a C.
I mean, maybe this is
you could walk into a class and be like, I want to do as little as possible to get through this, and they will give you the answer.
You don't-
That's convenient.
You guys, you want a good scam? Did you graduate, Allie? Did you go to college?
did.
What was your major?
I had a major in visual art.
Oh, fucking A.
Sculpture, specifically.
Oh, that's cool. So
Is
you sculpting is cool.
Oh, well, I
took a
haven't
sculpting
sculpted
class.
anything, so.
Oh, well then.
Nobody ends up doing what they did in college.
Right,
anyway.
Yeah, I was a math major.
I am.
Matt.
What did you go to school for?
I got a couple degrees. I got
Here we go.
Tweeting.
Fucking nerd.
Researching.
Tweeting, yeah.
Pickleball.
I got a degree in business with a concentration in marketing and a degree in advertising. Oh, well, it was a journalism degree with a concentration in advertising.
Okay, so he's using his
concentration.
So
in-
I actually majored in journalism. So this has been billed as a way to eliminate the student-professor power differential and give students control of their education. But critics contend it is just another example of how colleges coddle students from the harsh realities of the real world, which includes competition and goal expectations.
I know my mom teaches college, and she said she's kind of like reaching the end of her career, where she's like, I don't know if I want to teach anymore. She's just like,
it's that bad, huh?
she says it's just a lot more difficult. Like a lot of the students just want to know what's on the test.
Yeah.
Where in like previous generations, she would teach students who just wanted to. And my mom teaches like nutrition, but for nursing students, and so like working in a field where people are going to have. A lot of responsibility, and
Right.
she says it's just becoming more and more difficult.
Yeah, I'm hearing that from college professors all around the U.S. They're writing op-eds and
Do
things
they
like
call
that.
you a lot?
They call me as a professor. Yes.
That's a fellow professor.
Yeah. Us professors talk. All right, it's not a big deal. Anyway, what else you got, Taylor? Anything else?
Treasure hunter claims he's found an alien spaceship while exploring ancient shipwrecks under the Bermuda Triangle.
That checks out. Anything else?
I went into it and I was reading it and I was like, this just sounds like bullshit. And then it turned out that it was a PR puff piece for like a channel is doing a show on it, and I realized, whoa, this is like
There you
it
go.
was going to be a setup for you to be like, this is another go on a
PR
Maddox
puff piece.
rant
Yeah.
about.
But then you
PR
found out
puff
it was
pieces.
real.
Yeah, that checks out.
Most people who use online dating websites seek partners who are out of their league, said a study Wednesday based on heterosexuals in 4 big U.S. cities.
That also checks out for sure.
Both men and women pursued partners about 20 25% more desirable than themselves, said the report in the journal Science
How'd they
Advances.
figure that number out, though?
People's desirability was determined using a ranking algorithm based on how many messages they received from other popular users on a dating site.
Yeah.
In New York, Seattle, Boston, and Chicago.
Yeah, that's some shit.
I mean, I guess, swing for the fences, right?
Or I want to know if they're pursuing people also at their own level, or if they're only swinging for the fences and knowing on what they actually can.
You got to treat it like college. You got to have your Harvard,
Yeah. Your safety
your school, then your safety.
Yeah. You might as well apply to Harvard. Everyone's applying to Harvard.
I mean, everybody wants to get into Harvard.
Yeah. You know what I'm fucking tired of is people who have shitty Twitter accounts, very few followers, they're not that fucking funny, and they add to their bio or their profile, level up or don't talk to me. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Why are you telling anyone
level up in Pokemon Go?
No, this, that expression now is like level up. Yeah.
I've honestly never heard
what does
the
that mean?
expression.
Become an
Really?
adult?
It's just like level up, like become a better person, and then maybe you could fucking hang out.
Yeah, there's like a hip hop song where it's they're all talking about level. You got to level up. You got to level up. So now people are like, level up. Like you're the cool one. You're not the cool one. You can't tell people to level up. You got to. You're not even at level 1 yet. You're at the title screen.
The day I knew I was old was when I had to start searching things on Urban Dictionary to keep up with culture. That was the day I realized I was old.
Yeah, I've had to. I remember the first time I had to look up TBH. I'm like, what the fuck is TBH?
Oh, I had to look up TBH, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, TBH is one of those. I gotta look that shit up. Anything else, Taylor?
That is the news for the week.
Yeah, thank you, Taylor Nikolai. Ali Spagnola, thank you so much for joining us. Where can people find you?
Ali Spagnola on all platforms.
On all platforms. You're on Instagram too.
Yeah,
I don't think I followed you on Instagram yet. Don't do that. Yeah, and Taylor Nikolai is at Taylor Nikolai on Twitter and Instagram. Ron Babcock is at Hey Ron on Instagram and at Ron Babcock on Twitter.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yeah, I can't get both of them and feel like an idiot.
That was me too. I had to get like Maddox Rules. What's my Twitter one? It's the Maddox Rules on Twitter. And then
I looked up Real Maddox, and you have like 16 followers, so I don't think that's the right one.
No, that's the real one.
Okay.
He needs to
level up in the bio.
If you ever want to feel better about yourself, just think about how Donald Trump couldn't even get the username at Donald Trump.
Didn't he got real Donald Trump?
Yeah.
So who has Donald?
Donald Trump.
Yeah. Anyway, Ali, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Thank you, Captain Maddox.
Thank you to the journalist in moderation, Taylor Nikolai.
Thank you, Maddox.
But most of all, you're welcome.
Hey, what's up, cabrones? I just read that Chicago has a fucking National Pizza Museum and shit. So everyone from New York can fucking suck it. Chicago's got the best pizza.
Yeah, so take that.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye.
Madcast Media Network.